Hey advisors, welcome to the final segment of this course on AI-enabled LinkedIn content generation. I'm gonna try to keep it really short and sweet for this one so we can, start rolling with it and start taking action. So I know a lot of social media strategists and branding agencies will talk about staying consistent and being consistent, but actually being consistent on social media is pretty hard. And so I want to talk about how you can automate consistency on LinkedIn. So we're going to cover a few things here. We're going to talk about how we can pre-schedule posts weeks in advance, right? So you may have heard this before. It's probably something you're already doing, maybe, hopefully. But that's a really smart way for anyone to really stay consistent on LinkedIn. Like, let's schedule posts weeks in advance, decide, what themes you want to focus on for that week or for that month, and then just get it done and just schedule it. Because LinkedIn has a feature that lets you schedule posts. There's a clock icon. You click on write post, and there's a clock icon right at the bottom. You click on the clock icon, and you can select the time and date you want the post to go live on, and then you're off to the chases. And I want to focus a little bit on this slide. I talked about it in my last course, but I just want to reiterate the importance of developing a prompting mindset. GPT-4o and the existing state of AI models is at the IQ level of an undergrad student. But it is getting exponentially better, and I think this year we're going to see grad student level intelligence, and shortly thereafter we're going to see PhD level intelligence. It's just where these models are going, and so models are going to become easier to use and easier to prompt. You're not going to have to really try to learn how to prompt, and it's possible that this course might be irrelevant, like even a year from now, right? But to generate and extract real business value, you still need to learn how to, prompt these models. And if I really go into the deep technicalities of all the prompting techniques that are involved here, like there's a lot of prompting techniques that you can use, like few-shot chain of thought prompting, which is like, a prompting technique that forces the model to perform in a chain of thoughts, in a chain of sequences. It really improves model reasoning and a model's ability to come up with answers that require mathematical computation and mathematical, thinking. So that's an example, right? Few-shot prompting technique, few-shot chain of thought prompting. So few-shot would mean like giving it examples of how it should run a calculation and then giving it a sequence of steps. That's an example right there of a little complicated, a more complex prompting technique to get more complex work done with LLMs. And then there's react prompting techniques, so reasoning and acting. So you're getting the model to reason, but you're also getting the model to act on the data that it has. So there's a lot to really go into, right? And so for advisors, I think just keeping it simple and just focusing on marketing use cases is what we're going to do in this course. But then I think going forward, like there's going to be all kinds of interesting use cases around financial planning and portfolio management and so on and so forth. So starting off by thinking of AI as a smart junior employee for now is probably a good way to think about interacting with models, because it, forces you to be as contextual as possible. Like when you hire an employee or an intern, you want to be as contextual as possible and give them all the information they need to get the job done. That's essentially what we covered in the first two courses, like being clear with specific and concise instructions. In course one, that's what we covered right there. And then in course two, we talked about engaging with your ideal client profile and engaging with them using specific pain points and creating content that grabs your attention. That was what we covered in part two. And all of this using AI, of course. So just to quickly finish off this slide, I'm probably spending a little bit more time than I should, but the models are getting really good at staying on task as opposed to creating stuff and hallucinating, right? So as AI models get better and better, we're also going to see lower and lower hallucinations, and that's already happening. But I think just sticking to concise instructions is going to keep the model focused on narrow tasks, and that actually helps reduce hallucinations, and also forcing it to provide citations. And then using delimiters like the brackets and the asterisks, that helps structure your prompt so the model knows how to scan through the text. And that's super helpful because models still need to scan through text to really understand how you want the prompt, how you want your output to be structured, right? So you give it a clear structure and tell it how it should perform, and it's just going to be better at, writing the end output text for you. And then prompting with document retrieval instructions. And I touched about this before, but we have a feature inside AdvisorX called Persona Search that lets the advisor to not just prompt the model, but also add additional document retrieval instructions. And that combined together is like really robust because it uses your data and it uses the power of the large language model and together combines a really good prompt and provides output that is accurate and more reliable. So that's why we want to use document retrieval instructions. So how do we automate consistency? Well, we identify the core building blocks of your LinkedIn content marketing plan, and that's your ideal client profile, the pain points, and your core specialization. And then writing posts in advance with a focus on your areas of core specialization. So if you don't have a specialization and you might be a full stack wealth management firm, you're like, yeah, I don't have an ICP. I kind of serve anyone and everyone. Well, that may be true and that's awesome. But if you look at your existing clientele, it's probably telling you a story of which clients you should focus on. So think about who the majority of your client base includes, and we'll create content around that specific client profile. And if you know that client profile, you can also figure out what are some questions that they have, what are some challenges that they have, how can I go and find more clients that look like them? And I'm going to use LinkedIn to do that. So that's essentially what we're going to cover here. And we're going to jump into AdvisorX and do a live demo, and we're going to see what the model has output for us because I already have a live demo ready for us to review. But here's an example of a scheduling prompt, right? Write me 5 variations of LinkedIn posts for next week's LinkedIn content. Focus on the themes of tax-saving strategies for business owners in particular. Intricate tax-saving techniques, tax loss harvesting, tax-efficient investing, and understanding various tax implications of investment decisions. And you can change this around. Like it can be, write me 5 variations of LinkedIn posts for next week's LinkedIn content, and you can say, focus on the themes of retirement planning strategies for pre-retirees, right? So that's an example. So you can change it up and you can use our LinkedIn post generator to do that because it's fine-tuned for advisor specific format. So I'm going to leave this presentation now, but please subscribe to us on YouTube and we'll be creating content like this every week. And here we are inside AdvisorX AI. And I'm going to show you how we used our LinkedIn post generator to generate these 5 posts, but I asked it to create 5 variations of LinkedIn posts, kind of basically the same exact prompt as you can see right here, the same exact prompt that I showed in that last slide. And here are the 5 variations it wrote for me. Business owners, are you leaving money on the table? Many entrepreneurs overlook these powerful tax saving strategies. And even this sentence right there, that could even be the opening first sentence, right, on your LinkedIn post, because I've touched on this before. That first sentence on your LinkedIn post is going to be the most important LinkedIn post, most important piece of your text of the post, right? Because that's what users are going to see, or readers are going to see that and click on see more. So we want to make sure that that first sentence is a home run, so it compels the reader to click on see more and read the rest of the text. Because if this is not attractive enough, if this is not enough of a hook, they're not going to read the rest of your post, right? So we automate that too, so you don't have to think about it. All you need to figure out is what your themes are going to be week on week or month on month. So here's an example of the post that it wrote: maximizing qualified business income deduction, structuring compensation strategically, yada, yada, yada. And post 2, tax loss harvesting isn't just for bear markets. So think about that for an opening hook. Like that's probably going to get you more engagement. And then it gives you tips. Smart business owners use this strategy year-round to offset capital gains, reduce taxable income. And then post 3, the most overlooked aspect of investing for business owners, ? Tax efficiency. You see how simple and easy it is for people to scan through these posts and not have to think too much. I see a lot of advisors posting hyperlinks to blogs and articles and market updates. clients are not going to read through those blogs and articles if you post them on LinkedIn. They might if you send it through your email campaign, but text posts drive the best engagement on LinkedIn and on X. And over here too, business owners, your investment decisions have tax consequences. Are you considering these factors? And then it lists out these 5 different factors. And if you don't like the format of these posts, you can literally ask the model to like change it around. And I'm going to say, write me these variations, but with different structure. Let's see what it does. And notice that you can also fact check this content, right? So if it's tax specific content, you definitely want to make sure that you can fact check it a little bit. So this is actually pretty good. This is interesting and new, but let's just review this quickly. So I said, write me more variations because I felt like there were too many bullet point posts. So it says this, I saved $50,000 in taxes last year. My client, a small business owner, was shocked. How? By implementing these often unlooked strategies. Pretty interesting. But check this out. Tax loss harvesting, not just for market downturns. So it kind of re-optimized and changed those posts a little bit. Post 3 quiz time, business owners. True or false, all investment income is taxed equally. I would say like that in itself, like this true or false thing would be like the first opening hook. And sometimes you don't have to use the opening hook that the AI suggests right there. You can use even the second line if you think it's better. True or false, all investment income is taxed equally. And then they click see more and then they start seeing this. Answer false. The most underutilized section of the tax code for business owners, retirement plans. That's super valuable information for a business owner, right? Beyond personal savings, they offer immediate tax deductions, tax deferred growth, so on and so forth. Are you maximizing this powerful tax saving tool? Attention business owners, your business structure impacts more than just liability. Again, over here, like this sentence could be the first sentence to go on top. So anyhow, I hope you have an idea of how you can, automate posts really quickly. Now you'll have to copy these posts and push them on LinkedIn. Click on LinkedIn, click on the right post button, and look for the clock icon on the bottom. Click on the clock icon and schedule the post. I believe you can only do this on desktop. I think you can do it on your mobile app as well, but it's fairly easy to schedule posts once you have the content written out. So I hope you enjoyed these course series on AI-enabled LinkedIn content generation. If you're interested, try out our LinkedIn post generator. Please schedule a demo with us and we'd love to give you a spin. Thank you for watching.